Hello everybody and welcome. I'm going to give you a little tutorial today on how to use the website called Overleaf. Now, Overleaf is a system that allows you to program LaTeX through a web browser. So let's go there, overleaf.com, pretty simple URL, and it takes you to this. Now, I would recommend that if you are going to try to learn on Overleaf, I would recommend that you either create an account or sign in through Google or Twitter, I believe. So I'm going to sign in through Google. So I'm already partially logged into Google, so this is going to take me straight in there. So there, and there's my Google account. And there, I'm now logged in. If you don't want to use a Google account, you can just create your own on the website. But then, of course, you'll have to remember yet another password for yet another website. So, your choice. So now, right now, as you can see, my account is empty. So probably the best way to learn this system is just to create a new blank project. So what you'll see here is this button for new projects. So I'll click on that. And it will allow me to choose some form of a project. Now, as you can see here, there are a number of different types of projects. This is an academic paper as a sample. There are specific academic journal formats that you can see here, and there are quite a few of them. Bibliography formats. All of this is designed for your life at university when you have to write papers for various professors who have different requirements. You can even write a book in LaTeX. As you can see, these are templates for various book formats. Calendar, and this one I very much like. You can use LaTeX to write letters, and it will format the letter for you. So many different formats of letters here. So yes, and homework assignments. You can see there's lots of different things you can do in LaTeX. But I'm just going to start at the very basic, simple version, a blank paper. So here we go. Click on that. So now what you'll see here, right, is a basic document that has some basic requirements. It has the document class specification. In this case, this is a generic academic article. Later, I'm going to try to teach you about how to use the APA format, but right now, this little article format will do fine for us. You want to make sure that you have source clicked if you haven't already. There's this rich text format, which is just a little bit less complicated, but I would recommend probably using the source code. Over on the left here, you'll see the actual file, the source file that you are creating and editing. So this is called main.tex. See the .tex there. And that symbolizes that it's a LaTeX file here. And that in that file, this information here is written and saved. Okay. So, and when the program, what it will do is if you make some changes into this, if you, for instance, type in something new, like the standard beginning, hello world, there we go, hello world. Okay. Now, what you'll see here is that once you have typed this in, you're going to see a preview over here of your PDF document. So right there is your preview of your PDF document. So that's usually what you would hand in as homework very often, at least in my class, is the PDF document. Now, sure, why don't I show you this? If you want to output the PDF document, there is actually a button here that says PDF. And what happens when you click that button, PDF? Let's see. Ooh, creating PDF. And then it gives me an option, at least on my Mac, to open or save my PDF file. So I'm going to just open it to see what it says. So I guess open, and there it is. There's my PDF document that says Hello World in nice LaTeX typography. Okay, so that is a nice, easy way to output very quickly. And then you can save this document and maybe later hand it in on my website as your homework. Okay, so I'm going to close that right now. And now, sometimes you might find this tab here to be a little distracting or taking up a little bit too much screen real estate. So you can press this little button here, if you'll see, and that will make it go away eventually. Did I? There it goes. So now we have more screen real estate and we can see our preview in more detail. If you wanted that to come back, you would just click on Project again, and there are the files for your project. Okay, but I'm going to keep it clear so we can read stuff here. Now, what I'd like to do now is to go through a few basic LaTeX formatting examples. So I'm just going to do this as sort of a stream of consciousness here and type whatever comes to mind. So first, let's see. Now, yes, by the way, you'll note I deleted the text, and it's actually complaining over here that there's an error because, in fact, there's nothing to compile. So you'll see that sometimes that if you make an error here, over on the right side of the screen, it might actually give you a little error from time to time. But if you get the format right, that should go away. So let's just type something in. So I'm just going to begin typing in a paragraph. This is the first sentence of a paragraph. All right. So now you should see the error has gone away, and in fact, it is very slowly showing the results of what I type here on this preview screen. So now I can continue typing a few things here, and this is the second sentence. This isn't very imaginative on my part. This is the second sentence. Okay, and so on. Now, and the third. Okay. So now what you can do is if you want to do a paragraph break, what you do is you do double backslash. There you go, double backslash, hit enter, and oh, look there. That's a paragraph and a line break. And I think if you have a blank line in there and a second, this is the beginning of a second paragraph. You can see it reflecting in a nicely separated, there it is. This is the beginning of a second paragraph, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what else? I don't really have a list of this for you, but let's see. Now, one thing that's kind of useful, let's see, you can underline things. So you can go / and it's the underline command, and then brace, you type a brace, and then this should be underlined. There it is. Okay, so we hit enter, and yes, and I can bring it back up to that next line so it's in part of the same paragraph. There it is. Okay, so this should be underlined, and there it is indeed. And for some reason, no, it puts it on the, continues it on as the second sentence. Right, now, one thing that you might find useful is making a bullet list, a point form list. And the way you do a bullet form list is to go / and begin. And then if it is a bullet list, you want to do brace and then itemize. Okay, so this is how you create a bullet list. And yeah, see, now I think you might find that sometimes here, you see it's giving an error up here. That's because I haven't put the end yet. So you see on LaTeX, every begin must have an end. So you can see there that there is not a corresponding end yet to this, nor is there an item for the bullet. So I'm just going to continue doing this. So item, so this is the first item. So this is the first item in my list. Hit enter, and item / item, excuse me. This is the second item sentence, and item, and the third. Now it still won't make the list yet until I do this, / end, and then brace, itemize. And after this, it should come up with a list. There it is, a nice bullet list, okay, which is always a useful thing sometimes. Now, another thing that we might want to find, we might find useful, is a numbered list. So begin itemize, it's not itemize, it's enumerate. And this makes a numbered list. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the end here so it's not going to complain too much. So end enumerate there, but it's still going to complain maybe that I don't have an item yet. So now I will take there, item, and this is the first item. This is the first numbered item. Okay, there, and you can see it appearing there. This is the first numbered item. Yeah, sorry, my keyboard found in the wrong place. Item, this is the second, and item, this is the third. Okay, and so on and so forth. And you can see that there's a lovely itemized list right there. There's your itemized list, bullet list, and itemized list. Now, if you are using LaTeX, and if you're like me, sometimes you forget how to do some things. You're probably thinking, oh, how am I going to ever remember these commands? Well, to be truthful, what I actually usually do when I forget commands in LaTeX, I just use what I call the Google manual. And the Google manual basically means go over to a new tab, and I just type in a Google search. I'll go to Google. There it is. And I'll just do a quick search, LaTeX, and then how to make a numbered list. And then, ooh, there it is. I assume this would be a good one, and if not this one, then the next one. And usually there's just an example. Oh, sorry, that works. So here it is. So this is somebody's very simplified version of this. And what I usually do is I just go on this page, Control-C, or I go copy, if you will. So I go copy in this, and this is supposed to be an itemized list. Actually, here, why don't I copy the whole thing? Control-C or copy. And then I go over to Overleaf, and I put my cursor where I want, and I go paste. And there it is. And where is it? Eventually, and there it is, you see? And for some reason I included that, which shouldn't be there. Okay. Now, another thing, sections. Now, in LaTeX, what you can do is you can create sections. So let us create a section, and it actually gives it it makes a section with a title, with a name. So I'm just going to section, and then what should I name it? Oh, very imaginative title, the first section. Okay, and what you will see there, eventually, once the preview happens, there it is, the first section. Yes, and then I type in my stuff. So this, a sentence in the first section. Okay, good. And then I can make another section. I can go section, and the second section. Well, how about the last section? Okay, and again, there it is. Actually, no, why don't I call it, I'm going to make another section, so why don't we make it the second? Okay. So, and here are some words. Okay. Now, what if you wanted to make a section appear on another page? Well, as it turns out, there is a page break command in LaTeX, and it is rather cryptically \page break. So, yes, not too difficult to remember. And then what we can do is we can go make another section, and then, okay, this is the last section, with some equations. So I'm going to show you some equations in a minute. So here, so there, and so I'm going to say I am going to type some sections. Oh, it's not on the preview. Oh, wait, well, we scroll to the second page. There it is, on the second page. And you'll notice the nice little 3 there. It's numbering the sections quite nicely. So So here are some more words. And then how about this? Here is an equation. Now, equation. Now, if you want to create an equation in line with your paragraph, what you do, the quickest way to do this is just to go to $, hit a $, and then, I don't know, why don't you go E equals M, and then C, and then the hat button there, hat means raises it to the superscript, so that means to the power of 2, and then you have to close the $. You'll notice that it's complaining about errors because I haven't closed the $sign yet, the second $sign. So there it is. Okay, and then let's see what it makes of that. There, E equals MC squared. Here is an equation, E equals MC squared, written with proper italicized variables, as you're supposed to in academic papers. With the variables are in italics, they're slanted. So now, if you want that equation to be more prominently displayed, what you can actually do is to go $sign and make the dollar signs double. So $2 signs there. And when you put the double $signs, it will actually put the equation, as you can see, on the next line, right? And it does sort of a nice job. It's kind of centered, but it's located probably where it should be for a single isolated equation. So there. And then I can go here and I can make another equation. And I may have shown you this a little bit in class before, but here's another equation that shows you how good LaTeX is at rendering equations. So I'm going to do the time dilation equation from Einstein. So I write T equals, and then this equation has it's two levels, a numerator and denominator. So what I do is I type frac and then brace. Now the first brace is the top. So I remember the equation is T equals T subscript 0, and that's all. And then in the numerator, it will be so the square root. So square root, this is actually fairly easy to remember, square root. And then in braces, again, we go 1 minus, and then there's another fraction, another numerator denominator, frac, and then we go the top, which is v squared, and then you have to balance the braces here, by the way, so be sure about you don't miss any, c squared. Okay, and did it work? And then, no, not yet. What am I missing? What am I missing? The closing $sign, the $sign. And I hope that works. I really don't know. Oh, there it goes. You see that? Okay, there it goes. And you can zoom in on it here, and you can't really see the quality of the typography here. Well, so maybe this is actually a nice time to download a PDF. So let's actually download the PDF of this file here. Whoops, there it is. I missed it. Okay, and I'm going to open it in Preview, which is, by the way, an awesome app. And here is the output. Here's the output file for my document here, and you can see that last little bit there. And here are the equations in all their glory. And I'll zoom in on it so you can kind of see the quality here. You'll notice that LaTeX does this nice thing where the top variable is full-sized. But in order to make the equation not so tall, it has actually chosen a different font size for the v squared and the c squared, so as not to make the thing too big. And I don't know, I find it just looks really proportional. And LaTeX is miraculous at doing equations, which is why if you take a math degree at university, you often use LaTeX for your thesis and for other papers, because I don't think there's much of a better way of typing equations than this. So I'm going to close that around, close that, and there we go. So in any case, I think that'll be all for today, for this lesson. In my next lesson, I intend to show you more about the APA template and about bibliographies specifically, and how to use BibTeX in bibliographies to make a nice bibliography. So thanks for listening and have a great night.